Hello, my name is Shadley and welcome back for another episode of Victoria 3 as Ethiopia. In previous episode we were just trying to buddy up with some of the neighbouring nations, and I think Jabal Shamar is something that we can probably invite into our customs union soon. Okay, not yet. If we do a defensive pact with them we could probably do it, because it's going to have a bit of a cost on the influence right now, but I think it's going to be worth it actually, and we don't need to give an obligation for that one. But let's just unpause. I've done a little bit of work off camera in terms of reorganizing some of the productions in here, but not too much. But yeah, we're actually doing a pretty good amount of money right now. And if we have a look at the construction materials mostly, it's a market price. So steel is pretty high, but we don't actually use that for construction yet. Tools are relatively high, or a little bit elevated, but it's not too bad yet. We are going to be increasing tool production, of course. But of coal, actually that's probably unstable. Okay, yeah, wood is not too bad. Fiber is a little bit expensive as well. Now that actually brings me to another thing that I could do. Since we already have the trade agreement with Egypt, we could just go ahead and start importing fiber from them, because I'm pretty sure that they got quite a bit in there. So import fabric from Egyptian market, and it's pretty good profitability. They got a massive amount of it, and we are lacking quite a bit, because we're mostly selling our fiber to France, oddly enough. Speaking of France, we're actually improving relations with them right now, although not very quickly, mind you, but it's better than nothing. And now with the improved relations with Jabal Shamal, we can actually bring them into the trade union. We do need to give them an obligation, but that is actually going to reduce the cost for the other deals that we have with them. Oh, and aniline has been unlocked, so we can get the synthetic plants. Now, I don't think we have the synthetic silk yet, but we're getting a little bit closer to that at least. Now, do we actually have, yeah, we got a textile mill underway. We might want to get more than one textile mill, quite frankly, as well as maybe some more chemical plants soon enough. But right now, I think what we're going to focus our research on is on the military stuff. So Ironclad is going to allow us to get the steamers, and that's going to be very, very important. And then breech-loading artillery would give us the shrapnel artillery, which would give us a pretty good advantage over, well, at least get us on par with a lot of the European nations in terms of artillery use. Of course, the Europeans, a lot of them already have the trench infantry, which we do not have yet. But right now, we're actually making pretty decent amount of cash, and what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start increasing the construction speed a little bit further. Because we got 5 million gold reserves, so that's going to be a pretty decent amount, and since we're not lacking massively on any of the construction materials that we use, which is say iron, wood, fiber, and tools, I mean the situation could of course be a little bit better, but it's not really all that bad yet. Also getting a bit of universities, which is going to be really useful for the extra innovation. We might want to build more, of course. Another thing that we do need to do is get some more admin built up, because we still have tax problems in these two states, Gondar and Amhara. Oh, and there we go, now it's almost 17,000 profit. Of course, majority of that is just coming from the investment pool, but we're now building only things that do actually gain the investments from the pool. We got 800,000 in the investment pool, but it is going down now relatively quickly. But we might be able to increase the construction speed a little bit, but at the same time, oh, right, we can't improve relations with Jabal Shamar anymore. Well, that's fine. It's still going to be improving passively since we got the trade agreement and defensive pact. So it is going to be reaching pretty good numbers overall. And then I think, let's actually have a look now that we can't improve relations with Britain right now, because we don't have the points for that. Oh, they have started hurting our relations. They might be planning on something. Well, that might be a problem. The French, we're currently improving relations with them, but they're probably going to start hurting the relations very shortly. But at least we're now neutral, so, you know, it's not too bad. Oh yeah, that started damaging the relations. Alright, well, that didn't take too long. Now, luckily, our population is increasing at a pretty good speed. Oh, actually, one thing that I could try... Well, I don't think it would pass right now, no. Slave trade. Yeah, it's only got 5% chance, but I think after the next election, depending who wins the elections, we might be able to pass a law to ban the slavery. As soon as we do that, the landowners are going to lose the pro-slavery thing, so basically the negative effect from that is only going to be while we try to pass the law. And man, we are really making a lot of money. Okay, I'm just going to get another level of the construction sector in here real quick. We'll probably go up to 60 construction points total, little by little, but not too quickly. Of course, the more we increase the construction speed, the more or quicker we'll empty the investment pool, so we need to keep that sort of in mind. So basically, without the investment, or once the investment pool runs out, it's gonna drop into £23,000 per week for the income from there. So technically speaking, yeah, we'll be losing some, but it's not the end of the world. We'll be able to build some quicker, and we can increase our GDP as well along the way, so that should be fine. But yeah, right now we're just mostly... Oh, we're losing our rank because the intelligentsia is unhappy. But it's probably sort of teetering on the unhappy, or rather unhappy and neutral in there, so we're getting the minus 20%. Oh, right, we got some more migrations, and the authority isn't great. Oh, it's going back. Oh, because church is, well, they're kind of loyal, but they're not fully loyal, which is a bit of a problem. Right, so how is our market doing in general right now? So we need definitely get more engines, clothing, opium, clippers, tobacco. Now for the clippers we are getting more shipyards, so that is going to help a little bit. All play and no work. Who is this? This is General. Mountain combat expert, expert defensive strategist. So it's not bad. Morale damage. Which faction are you from? You are a landowner. We could just fire you, I suppose, and then we're going to hire a new general into Ethiopia. Actually, we'll probably... Ooh, that reminds me. Ethiopia will get... Okay, that would be industrialists, but we want to... Oh, you are offensive planner. You're reckless. That might be horrible for us. Well, you could actually command the troops in here, so I'm just going to have you, and then we'll also get a general in Sundry region. And I suppose we could get one from... Oh, you're offensive planner as well. Well, I think the reserve is better than reckless in our needs right now. And also, another thing that we should probably start doing is increasing the barrack sizes in here. Now, unfortunately, we can only go for level 5 barracks in these regions until we can get to better sort of military levels, or the laws for the military. But right now, I'm pretty sure that no one supports them. Yeah, no one supports them. So we can't switch to the professional army, for example. Which would allow us to get a lot more barracks and then not have to rely... I mean, we haven't really been relying too much on the conscripts, to be fair. But in the future, we wouldn't have to rely as much either. Which would be very useful. Okay, so the steel mill is about... Well, it's about 2 months away. The Clark's Works is about a month away. And we're going to get a shipyard over here as well. So both of those are going to be very useful. Is this a... Oh, this is a divided state. Oh, the French own quite a bit of it. Alright, and there we go. We got the ironclads unlocked. So let's go ahead and start researching the breech-loading artillery. That will be quite good for troops. I mean, we will need to increase the ammunition production probably in time for that. Which actually, let's go ahead and get the chemical plant upgrade. It's making a pretty good profit thus far, and then maybe we'll put in the munitions plant as well. Right, the floating harbor is spreading. Okay, one thing that I suppose I could do, or could start doing, although... I think we might still have the steel shortage, don't we? You got engine shortage. Let's have a look at the tools. So the steel is pretty expensive, so yeah, maybe not switching to that quite yet. We'll wait for the steel mill to be done. Another thing that I'm hoping to get is the open hearth process from the production, but right now we are getting... Oh, steel railway cars. Okay, so even more steel use. Oh boy. Right, so the glassworks is about to be completed. We do have a pretty decent income still. I'm almost tempted to get out of realism unlocked. Okay, good. Do we have, yeah, we'll get another construction sector over here real quick, because we've got plenty of peasants in here. We should really start increasing the productions in here. Of course, we don't have a lot of infrastructure is the problem. So maybe we'll build another level of the railway as well, although that is going to require some more engines. So that will take some time. Right, so we've got 120 influence. I do wonder, I mean, Zulus is something that we could start improving relations with, I suppose. Might not be the best option, but it'll do for now. And then we've got a pretty good situation with the Egyptians. We've got good relations. It is actually even improving further with the alliance and the trade agreement going up to plus 80 max. So yeah, that's coming up fairly nicely. I don't, well, other than maybe increasing trade with them, what other things do they have a lot in trade? Wood, furniture, sugar... A little bit of clothing, but that's probably not the best thing. Do we have extra wood ourselves? We're already buying some opium from them, although it's only 70 right now. The wood price is a little bit elevated, so I suppose we could buy some wood from the Egyptians. Because we don't need to pay for the bureaucracy for that. The Austrian market would be much more profitable, but yeah, we'll do a little bit from there. We're getting, lowering the prices quite nicely. Oh, and what is the... Oh, it's the railways have an good shortage of engines. It's not too bad yet, but it could be a little bit better. I mean, suppose motor industries, it is working full speed. Of course, once we reduce the cost of the steel, that's going to help a lot. And we got another level already underway. Oh, and the intelligentsia is unhappy once more. So the shipyard in Zambezi is going to be the next. We'll also get a port in Yemen, as well as the shipyards in Somaliland. So we should, as soon as we get, actually we just got the steel mill, didn't we? We did. It's not fully operational yet, but what we're going to start doing is, ooh, actually, we might have to wait until we get the engines, because the steamers do use engines. We'll also increase the motor industries a little bit higher on the list here. I'll also put in the textile mill a little bit higher. And we'll have a decent bit of barracks and a few other things afterwards, but we got okay situation in the construction. I mean, it could still be better, and it is improving, of course. Yeah, getting the port over here is going to improve the infrastructure, which is currently full. There's a bit of qualifications lacking in here, so we might want to get a university in Yemen. There's not massive amount of unemployed or anything like that, so that might cause some issues. We'll also have to go with that for now. So let's just double check if there's any laws that we could, realistically speaking, pass. And the easiest way to check is just roll all the way to the bottom of the list. So agrarianism has a lot of support, but I don't want to go for that one. We could restrict the child labor, which would reduce the mortality rate a lot, and increase the max education levels, or the institution levels. So yeah, we'll try to go for that one. It's 29% chance. So not massive, but it could pass. Of course, our current legitimacy doesn't really help the situation. It's going to be February when... Okay, so that takes, yeah, almost a full year for that to roll once. So that's not the best. Now, we got pretty good income again. We got fairly high taxes. We could lower the taxes, although that would reduce the income perhaps a bit too much. So the other option, of course, is to get some more construction sectors done. So that one's going to get us to 60 points total, more or less. Oh, London migration. And the shipyards in Zambezi are going to be done in about a month, so that's good. Overall, we're living in a bit of a peaceful time here right now. Of course, how long that's going to last remains to be seen. I'm pretty sure that Great Britain is still damaging the relations. Yeah, they are. It's currently +5, which is surprisingly good. But they will probably attack us, or might be... Oh, there's a Polish uprising in North German Federation. Well, I'll be... Plus, oh wow, if we zoom in here, that's gonna lag the game like hell, because there's just some massive cities in here. Like, if we have a look at Trieste there's quite a few things in there. Trade centers, 146, oh wow, okay. Well, that will explain a little bit. What does the synthetic plants actually make? It makes dyes from fertilizer and sulfur, and then eventually you can produce silk as well, but you need to research a tech for that. And they might not have done it, or they might have some silk production from somewhere. Right, so that's about to be completed. There we go. We're getting 17,000 from the... Oh, wow. The investment pool is emptying quite quickly, so beyond this point, we should not increase the construction speed yet. Because once the investment pool runs dry, then the income is basically going to drop to 0 already. Okay, shipyard is about to be completed, and the motor industry is now underway slowly. I mean, it's getting like... No, it is getting 5 progress per week. Okay, that's a bit more than I expected. Now it's going to be getting full 20, or almost full 20. Inefficient agriculture. Ethiopian Eritrea. Yeah, I suppose if we can get a bit more migration in there, that'd be nice. There is certainly room for more productions in there. Well, a little bit more productions in there. Of course, we could start building some ports or something in there, for example. Oh, what number of Moris have moved into Yemen? The Yemen, well, how bad is the population? So, it's mostly still Yemenis and Bedouin. There's some Dixies in here. 120, oh wow. Okay. Not something I was expecting to see. Right, the Zulus, we've been improving relations with you. Of course, that probably hasn't improved the situation too much yet. I'm hoping to bring you into the customs union, but you probably won't accept that yet. I suppose another thing that I could do... I could, technically speaking, invite the Egyptians already. Although, let's have a look. Obligation... Oh, we owe an obligation already. So we'll have to wait. I mean, they might call in the obligation to join my market at some point. They've done that in some of my test runs. From the previous recording session, or after the previous recording session. Raising concerns. Landowners have expressed their concerns about government decision clearly favoring the interests of industrialists. I think I want to reduce your power there, landowners, so I'm gonna be fine with that. Now, just to be clear, I do not plan on going for like a full-on workers' paradise in here. We're still gonna stay at monarchy and probably landed voting or something like that, but we just want to get rid of the landowners' sort of power so we can pass the laws like banning slavery and such, because banning the slavery is gonna be a massive boon for our sort of stability, so to speak. The loyalists are gonna go up a decent chunk, and the radicals are gonna drop massively. Plus, you know, it means that the people can actually have a little bit better standard of living on average, which is going to reduce, well, I mean, that is basically what is contributing to the increase in loyalists and reducing the radicals. Right, so the income that we currently have is more or less just what we get from the old investment pool going down. And once that runs out, which is not going to be all that long, unfortunately, so we'll probably stay at 60 construction for the time being. Once our GDP starts increasing further, of course, the investment pool is going to increasing. Of course, if the industrialists like us a bit more, then, yeah, we'd have to get a +4 in there. It's probably not going to happen right now. Unless we stop passing the restricted child labour, I suppose. Okay, so we are now getting the textile mill in Oromia, or in our capital, so that is, let's be honest, the clothing price is pretty high, so I'm just going to put another level there already. And another thing that I suppose I could do is reduce the labor use in here, increase the tool use, so it's going to make it a bit more profitable. It's the #1 textile mill in the world, and, or is that just, yeah, #1 most productive textile mills in the world, and then it's the 4th most productive building in the world. So that's not too bad. How is the steel mill? That's another one that is pretty good for us. Oh no, it's not even nearly enough. Motor industries, that's #1 motor industries in the world, but pretty far down on the list of total things. Alright, well. Nope. Steel mill. Urbanize. Ooh, winds of change. I think, actually, the urban center throughput in Yemen, we got quite a bit in there. Or getting more loyalist. You know what, we'll just get more loyalist. I mean, we got 10 urban centers in here, but they're only halfway filled up with people, so that would be a little bit of a reduction. If we were to get the public trams over there, though, that it would reduce the workforce in there. Might not be a bad idea, actually, in this case. Because there's empty room in there, regardless. So now the laborers can work on some other jobs in the state, which, sure enough, probably increases the radicals for a little bit, but it will quickly go down. The motor industry is just 5 weeks away from being completed. I presume, well, the tool price is starting to be a bit high. We've got the tool workshop underway. That's going to be about half a year away from being completed. Right, so improving relations with Transvaal. Are you ready to maybe join us? You're still disinterested. So I take that as a no. I'm just going to stop improving relations with you then. And we've got about 200 points, but that's not enough to start improving relations with Great Britain. But we're still hurting our relations. If we let it go to, you know what, we're just gonna stop improving relations there as well. Oh, bollocks, we're still a little bit over. Didn't we bring Jabal Jamar into the customs union? Oh. No, we can't. I think we've given them an obligation. Oh yeah, we have. So they might want to join on their own, I guess. If they ask to join, then that would be saving us a lot of points. Well, in that case, we can just go back to improving relations with some people. I do wonder, though, if we have a look at diplomatic lens, so who would be someone that we should be focusing? Austria is already pretty good relations. Ottomans are friendly. Russia is amicable. Both Britain and France hate us. So that is a bit of a problem. Austria, I don't suppose there's a lot I can do with you. Not really. But at least Austria is someone that we can probably... Oh, actually, Portugal. Oh, I can't improve relations with you. Because we already have pretty good relations. In fact, alright, never mind. But Portugal might be... I mean, technically speaking, I wouldn't mind getting some more Portuguese lands over here. Especially for the logging camps. And a bit more farmlands as well. Other than that, it doesn't really have that. Well, I mean, there's some textile mills there as well. Which would mean things that I don't need to build myself. Oh wow, we're getting 40,000 from the investment pools. At the same time, yeah, we're taking 21,000, or the investment pool is dropping quite a bit in numbers. So yeah, we probably don't want to focus too much in there. Oh, and now it's just gonna end the investment pool, I mean, drop the investment pool quite a bit. So we're still making about £10,000 per week. That's not bad. Oh, and we do have an election coming up. Agrarian Party and Radical Party seem to be the ones leading. Let's have a look at the government real quick. So, Agrarian Party is the landowners, or the rural folk, and the Radical Party intelligentsia and trade unions. Could be okay. We'll see how the elections actually end though, because we're not there yet. Oh, there we go. Engine prices dropping drastically, and hardwood prices dropping a lot. Tool prices going up quite a bit though, but most of the other things are dropping in price. So what I'm going to do is, I think now it's time to switch the shipyards. We'll go for the steamers. It's going to take a lot of engines, so it's going to be rather expensive. So in other words, what we should probably be doing is switch already. I'm also going to switch to the ironclads. So the steamer production is going to be a little bit reduced. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to go for the buildings. Development, ports. Switch all these to industrial ports. So that's going to increase the coal use quite a bit. We got some coal mines underway though, so that's not going to be a problem for much longer, I reckon. And steamers, well, we're going to need quite a bit, but it should be fine. I mean, how much do we produce steamers in here now? 200, okay. So in theory, that should be fine. But what we definitely do need to do more is another motor industries and more steel mills. And probably bring those a little bit higher on the list. Right, so those will be now done a bit more than a year from now. So we might have some issues with various productions until then, but it's not too bad. That also gives us a ton of more convoys, which also does, I suppose, mean that we can... Oh yeah, we got over 4,000 convoys available. That's pretty decent. Bureaucracy numbers are running a little bit low though, so I'm slightly worried about that. Oh, there we go. People are importing our ironclads. That actually reminds me. The ironclads. Buildings, development, naval bases. Let's start switching to ironclads. So, Man of War's demand is going to go down. Ammunition price is going to go up a little bit. And ironclads will be using at least some. But, you know, our ships will be at least able to do something. Dark Satanic Mills. I don't want to lose the authority. So which one do I want to anger? The rural folk got happiness of 5, and both have happiness of 5, so we're going to lose one of these. I think the rural folk, we're going to afford to anger them just a tiny bit. Ooh, people want secret police. Well, the armed forces want secret police. Not really anyone else. And there we go. Now we're not really making a profit anymore, but that's fine. We got a GDP of 50 million now, so that's certainly gone up a decent chunk. And we're about to get another coal mine, which is hopefully going to start reducing some of the coal prices. Because I have a feeling that, oh yeah, coal price is pretty high right now. But, you know, every mine that we do is going to reduce the price a little bit further. I suppose another thing that I could do, we've got a decent bit of extra population here now. So just get rid of the steam donkey. That means that less coal and engine use. So both those prices are going to drop, and, well, we'll have a bit more slaves in use, I suppose, in the meanwhile. Ooh, there we go. Egypt requests to join customs union. Excellent. That is what I was hoping for. That does mean that we might start losing a bit of cash because not doing all the trade with them, but at the same time, that should mean that we'll have a bit more... Well, the alliance is still the same, but the customs union is costing less than the trade agreement. So, you know, we've got a little bit extra points now. And Jabal Shamar, are you willing to... No, you don't want to join yet, and I'm pretty sure you still have the obligation. Yep, you still have the obligation. So how about you ask to join in as well, right? But hey, now we've got access to the Egyptian opium, which is probably not sufficient. Although it's not complaining about it anymore, so I suppose we are in a bit better situation in that regard. It is rather expensive still, but there is at least somewhat sufficient amount of it. And I suppose also, let's have a look at the other things that we have plenty. So rubber, we got a lot. We got plenty of man of wars. We got plenty of wine, fish, fruits, small arms, sugar, even iron. Oh, and plenty of grain as well. But I suppose the grain, the price isn't too much affected by that. But we got over 2,000 extra, at least for now. But of course, once the population starts increasing in numbers, which it's already doing quite a bit. All right. So I know that we got one more shipyard over here that is currently still working on the clippers and all that, because we do still need some clippers for mostly fishing purposes, I suppose, which, technically speaking, I could start switching away from. Especially, well, let's start over here. sea trawlers, so the coal price is going to go up. Clipper price is going to drop, and steamer price is going to go up a decent chunk. More fish, at least. And also the workforce is going to be higher paid. Oh, and over here we got a little bit extra, I suppose. Oh, this one's using the old stuff. We could maybe start using the clippers in here. And, like, I know that there's some other nations in our trade union that might be using clippers still, so producing a little bit is probably not too bad, although... Do we have it set up to build the manor walls as well? Because if we do, we probably don't need to. I'm just going to focus on civilian shipbuilding. Might be making slightly more... Oh, there we go. Election done. Agrarian Party is the biggest one, followed by the Radical Party. I guess those two will be taking the lead to reform government. So Liberal Party out, Radical Party in. There we go, we've got 60% legitimacy. I suppose that'll have to do, right? I wonder though if there's going to be any support for the laws right now that we're pushing. 16%. I mean, we've got 2 of the parties now in here that support it, so I suppose it's better than nothing. Oh yeah, it's actually 34% total because of all the bonuses that we've gotten thus far. Oh, it just had to... Okay, yeah, never mind. So we've got a decent chance of getting this done. I mean, it's probably not going to get done on the first try, right? Ooh, what's this? Ottoman Empire versus Russia. Europa, Wallachia, and Great Britain. And Grand Duchy of Finland on the Russian side. Okay, so what is this about? Diplomatic play in Anatolia. Eastern Treaty Port. Oh, are they trying to take Istanbul? By chance. Then ban slavery in Ottoman Empire. Alright. I don't know if there's... Oh, but there's not going to be another battle over there. Well, that at least is going to keep the British busy. Now we just need to worry about the French, which are still very much against us. We've got a decent bit of influence well, it's not enough influence available quite yet. Although I suppose if and when we manage to get Jabal Jamar into our trade union, then we might, or customs union, then we might have enough to improve relations with 2 large nations. Oh, there we go. Procedure child labor has been passed. Okay, so let's, just out of curiosity, if we were to try to ban the slavery, how much of a support do we have? 31%. Now that would, we could go for the legacy slavery at first, I suppose. So that would mean a little bit less power for the landowners already. Or if we just go for this one, all slavery will be liberated, landowners lose the pro-slavery. Landowners aren't really that powerful though, so I think we can afford trying this. 30% chance of going or passing on the first round is 300 days per checkpoint. So it'll take quite some time, so that the landowners are going to be rather angry until then. But at least intelligentsia is going to be very happy, so social tech cost goes down, and migration attraction goes up. And revolution brewing, how bad is that it can reach up to 83? Oh wow, that is quite a bit. It would be Somaliland getting freedom. So that is a revolution that we can fight against, right now at least. And if it's not going to reach all the way up to full levels, then it should be fine, although the radicalization is going to be rather costly for us right now. It's going to probably increase the radicals. At least, oh, it's actually going down. Ah. So I guess the landowners are indeed losing a lot of power, but they are just very unhappy about this. Well, there we go, the extreme dropped to... Ah, okay. Yeah, so it is indeed getting better, but since they're losing more and more power, then the radicalization is actually dropping a little bit, so it can reach up to 80% right now, instead of the 83 that I was supposed to be at first. Right, so who's in the war? They haven't gotten all of the people in there yet. I do wonder who's going to win that. It's just me and France on the... Right. I don't know if I would even want to join that, quite frankly. There's not much... I mean, I suppose if I was to join on the Russian side, I might be able to take Basra or something. Or maybe Palestine? I don't know if Palestine would be something that we could link to. Probably not yet. I mean, if you have a look at... is it... Well, I mean, the game is lagging quite a bit. I've got the supply network. I mean, I suppose that doesn't factor in there. Is this... Okay, well, there's some shipping lanes over here. Oh, what are they connecting to? Oh, they're buying some ironclads from us. Alright. So the French might... Well, they probably still hate us, but if they buy the ironclads from us, then if they declare war on us, they'll lose at least some of those. Okay, so now it's only very high instead of massive. So I think the landowners will eventually come to terms with this. And slowly but surely we can make sure that there is no revolution. We can ban the slavery, which means that the landowners will lose a lot of power. Plus they won't be quite as angry about it anymore since they're not pro-slavery after that. They'll have to sort of reform a little bit. So population of 15 million already, 13 of which are incorporated population. We've got a bit shy of 2 million unincorporated, which is mostly in Madagascar and Zambezia, I suppose, because these have been incorporated already. Right, so soon enough we're going to get the class works, and I just had a look at the clock, and we are way over time. So if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Also check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.